Lebaran, terasa kesayuan Lebaran, tapi bersahut.
Assalamualaikum and Selamat Hari Raya. I'm Hafiz Marzukhi.
And I'm Melisa Idris.
Welcome to Lebaran AWANI, and as you know, we are coming to you from Lee Meridian Putrajaya. And as we know, the festivities have started yesterday in Raya Eve, and we're continuing the festivities today or tonight in Syawal, Take One.
Well, hope you've had a really lovely Raya, spent the day with friends and family and taking your fill of Raya food. And thank you for spending your Raya night with us, or Malam Satu Syawal with us. And today with us we have our dear friend of Astro AWANI, Ibrahim Sani, who is the CEO of Yayasan Peneraju. And if for those of you who may not know, Ibrahim was a presenter and anchor.
Yeah,
and
he was everything.
He wore many hats.
Well, while we were preparing for this show, Mel and I did a recount of when we first met.
How many years?
2014. It was 11 years ago. And now, thinking back, that is literally Alia's age, my youngest daughter.
And she's all grown up now.
She's all 11. Yeah, she just got her party certification.
I'm so proud. Congratulations, Alia. So Alia is the length of time that we've known each other.
Yes.
Okay, so you have far surpassed us, left us.
No, come on.
Left us
That's
in your
ridiculous.
dust at Astro AWANI, and now you are with Yayasan Peneraju. And I think for those who may not be familiar, maybe you can tell us a little bit about that.
So Yayasan Peneraju is an agency under the Ministry of Economy. Our chairman is Rafizi Ramli. What we do is that we give out educational loans to Bumi Putra scholars to pursue two types of education. Number one, accounting certifications like ACC, ICAW, CIMA and the like. And number two, technology programs. And initially we started off as a scholarship, but now we moved over to the loan type of things because we want a little bit more accountability and want people to have a little bit of skin in the game. However, these loans are convertible to become scholarships if they pass through all the exams.
So if they don't pass, they have to repay the loans?
They repay. It's in the contract, okay?
That
so
is incentive to study.
It is an incentive to study.
Exactly, but I've never got the chance to ask you this, you know. What inspired the shift? You know, you're one of us, for lack of a better word.
Crossed to the dark side.
No, it's not dark side. Come on, it's called national service. It's called the Call to the Public. But
when did you take up this role again?
It's close to 2 years now, guys. Can you imagine?
It's been 2 years.
It's close to 2 years, and I'm having a ball of a time.
Well, we have felt your absence every day.
Yeah, I'm sure the viewers feel. The
viewers have missed you on the screen for 2 years.
Let me tell you this. I love the work that I do, but I actually do miss broadcast, and broadcasting is a lot more fun. I can tell you that.
Okay, a lot more fun. Okay, but what inspired the shift, right?
Look, it's very simple. It was I was dating this other person, and we saw on TV. I don't know whether you know this story. Have I told you the story?
No.
So
which story?
So
which one?
So Rafizi,
There's so many stories.
Rafizi was giving a press conference and said that the job of opening for the CEO of Teraju and CEO of Yayasan Peneraju is now available to the public, and anybody can apply.
I remember that announcement.
So that was it. So my ex-partner said, "Hey, why don't you try this out?" And I said, "No lah, come on. Jobs like this, normally it's lip service. Normally they just say it, right? I mean, politicians.
It's always someone."
But she LinkedIn easy apply my CV, and the rest is history.
Wow! Was it something about education that kind of sparked your interest?
Okay.
Is that why?
Yes, because Yayasan Peneraju has always been a proponent of getting accounting certifications for Bumi Putra scholars. It's always been like that. While I may not necessarily be expounding the virtues of Bumi Putraship all the time, but I am a strong proponent of people getting professionally accredited. Because I'm a CIMA holder, I'm trying to get my ACCA passed as well, MICPA, CA. I mean, those are
upskilling. Right?
Yeah. And Yayasan Peneraju has been very effective in that sense. Yayasan Peneraju has added 10% of Malaysian Institute of Accountant membership since we incepted. That's specifically for accounting. For Chartered Financial Analysts or CFA, Yayasan Peneraju has doubled the number of Bumi Putra charter holders.
Well done!
Yeah, so it's like, these are the areas where I think we really need upskilling, and I felt drawn to it. At least that's what I, yeah.
What are the challenges, you know, we in the media, dealing with breaking news, dealing with last minute shows. how do you contrast it with the challenges that you feel or you meet in Yayasan Peneraju?
I don't know. I mean,
Is it more stress or less stress?
okay lah.
That's a good question.
That's a very good question. This job is more stress. Breaking news and all the other stuff during media is a lot more fun. You know why? Because it's like a goldfish memory. Every day is a new day.
Yeah. You
don't
wipe the slate clean.
Yes, wipe the slate clean. No homework. And then, of course, if you wanna, no homework.
Well, don't say that. Our bosses might be watching.
You're done for the day.
You're done for the day.
Raya, day one.
And then, of course, and I know this, Mel. You read a lot. You learn a lot. And then, of course, for Hafiz, you meet people. You get a little bit of contacts, network. But
landing interviews.
That's zero stress for you guys. It's zero. In fact, it's fun. You need to meet people because not only does that help you understand the context, it actually meets that internal expectations of you trying to get yourself out there. And then for yourself, when you read more, you understand the situation a little bit better. It's fun to do that kind of upskilling and reskilling. But for this kind of work, it's like you have to have that long-term concentration and you build on something, right? Especially for policy making. And then as a federal government agency, we are executing the 5-year development plans for the Kementerian. And it's so hard because not only do you have to have that long-term concentration of the long-term things that you have to do, you also have to think about the kind of impact that you want to bring for the next blueprint, which is the next RMK.
But I'm sure, like with all the stresses, Yim, that there are bright spots, right? And I'm assuming that it's the kids, the students, the people you get to help through your scholarships and your grants, because in a way it's life-changing.
It is life-changing. I can tell you a story about this Bumiputera scholar of ours. Her name is Emily. She's a Sabahan non-Muslim Bumiputera. She comes from the most impoverished kind of families that you can think of. She received an educational grant from Yayasan Peneraju. She came to Kuala Lumpur. She got an ACCA chartered status. She worked for 3 years in one of the big fours, and then she went back to Kota Kinabalu and then went back to her area in Semporna. There, she is working pro bono to become a bookkeeper for her church, which is the Sijil Injil Borneo Catholic Church. She's also doing bookkeeping there. One Gurdwara Sahib, one mosque. To see that kind of story, it's like a church, Gurdwara Sahib, and a mosque.
Multi.
Pro bono.
That is really
and it's very typical of you, for Sabah. When you hear these things, very muhibah. It is a true story, and I can see that. And she is the only person in her wider family to have received such education, and she's working back to receive that kind of community help, right? And she did that because she wanted to. It wasn't part of the program design, but it was part of what we intended to do initially. That's why the Minister of Economy, Rafizi, was talking about how Yayasan Peneraju needs to be an economic multiplier, not somebody that can just increase their salary by itself. Economic multiplier, does this mean increasing your salary, or does it mean that you start your own business and start employing others, or start being a social impactor like Alice, the talent from Sabah?
It's amazing. I did have to ask though, I mean, I've known him for so long and he's always been my comrade in terms of interviewing people. Like, we're always on this side of the desk kind of grilling people. Is it weird now that
seeing him taking interviews
you
all
have
the
to be
time
on the other side and people are asking you the tough questions?
So difficult. I am now
but do you
accountable.
know all the tricks?
Yeah, of course. But to be accountable for your own actions. I have been a very irresponsible person and a very irresponsible adult. I can tell you that. And to be the guy that asks the questions, right? And then you poke holes at the other person. And now I have to be accountable for my own action, especially for my own money, especially for my own kind of activities. And we're handling millions of ringgit for the government funds. It's really scary, and I do lose sleep, I can tell you that, because I wonder, oh my god, I'm going to sign a 5 million ringgit check tomorrow.
Because it's public money.
It's public money. How do I deal with that? And then am I doing the best I can for earning my own keep? these questions make me very uncomfortable holding this position for a bit longer than I need to.
Do you lose sleep when you're in the media?
No, I don't lose sleep.
Only election night.
Even after a big power.
We
Yeah.
only lose sleep during election night and when the results come out at 5 a.m.
I remember you host the 3 a.m. It's you know, I miss that, right? I miss doing the morning show for the elections, and then I go back home, sleep a bit, and then I wake up at 3 and I see you on air.
Yeah.
I miss that one.
That is quite fun.
Yeah.
That's really good. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. This is your time to go and top up your kuih kacang on your lemang and
Sasi,
ketupat or
minum air sasi.
air tebu ke with ice. Anyway, just top up your drink and come back. We'll be right back after these messages. Stay tuned.
Terasa kesayuran tapi bersahutan. Terasa kesayuran tapi bersahutan.
Hello, welcome back to Lebaran Awani. We are here at Lee Meridian Putrajaya. I'm Hafiz Marzukhi. With me is Melisa Idris, and we're of course talking to the one and only CEO of Yayasan Peneraju,
Kau jangan cakap macam tu.
Ibrahim
Come on, man.
Sani.
I'm still one of you.
Yes, so I cannot shake that. I know that you're a big man CEO now, but I cannot shake that you are, you know, journalist, anchor, Astro Awani for the longest time. That's just how we've seen you.
Okay, let me tell you this. In 2014, when we first worked together at BFM Radio, right?
Yeah.
I always felt humble because I will never introduce myself as a journalist. You always do.
Yeah.
But because for me, I'm just a guy that talks.
That happens to work in
That
media.
happens. Now that when you intro back from the break, I was asking myself very quickly, how do I identify myself?
Yeah.
I think I'd like to identify myself as an accountant. I've always been an accountant.
Okay.
And however dull that life is, I think I can carry my skill set anywhere I want. And this job is no different because it's not just about disbursing the funds and loans. It's about working closely together with the Kementerian in terms of how to optimize the money even more. Especially when you have somebody like YB Rafizi chairmaning the organization, the foundation. It's always about cutting the costs, removing the middleman, optimizing growth. So the same ringgit, the same ringgit, how can we stretch it? And that's quite frankly my skill set. And I've always been when I was sitting on your side of the camera. It's always been like that.
Yeah. Well, I remember because you used to ask like. You would drill down how you're spending the money, accountability, like financial accountability. Now you're on the other side, making sure that the money is spent well.
Yeah, and that's scary because it's a lot easier to ask.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well,
it's always easier to bangkang than actually do
Yeah,
the
exactly.
thing.
For sure.
Oh, I see. It's a lot easier to be in opposition, isn't it?
It's a lot easier to question.
It's easier to cut down than it is to build up.
But I'm not saying this just because he is our friend or my friend. I've not
My
known
friend too.
about Yayasan Peneraju
I like the buttering up.
until you joined, you know,
thank you.
honestly.
Yeah.
And I'm curious about, you know, how do you approach publicity from that point of view? Because you've been in the media, you know, so like, how do you do that?
Okay, the first day that I joined the organization, the team that was really scared inside Yayasan Peneraju are the comms people. I mean, I can be honest, right? So the comms people were like, okay, this guy has a greater competency than we do.
Okay.
The other teams, you know, they do approach me tentatively, but quite frankly, they do have, you know, aces up their sleeves because they know the business better, they've been at the thing longer, and so
They know the organization better.
But you know, and the comms team, credit to them, they have been trying to get the word out of Yayasan Peneraju, but it's not easy getting the right spokesperson to tell the story.
Right.
And they don't have a leader prior to my arrival that is as aggressive to get the word out there, especially if they can't say it, they're not really empowering other influencers or other voices to say it as well.
So that's the operative word, aggressive.
Aggressive. So now do you think people are more maybe brand conscious of what? Do you ever get mistaken for Teraju? That's Yayasan Teraju as well, right?
That Teraju.
Just
Teraju
no
is
Yayasan,
not
okay,
Yayasan. So how it started, right? Back in 2011, the Prime Minister at that time wanted to have a think tank of people that can create Bumiputra policies horizontally. Across the board, right? So then the Prime Minister of that time, Najib Razak, he created Teraju. And Teraju, inside it, this is 2011, inside it has a learning and training division. That hived off to become Yayasan Peneraju.
Okay.
So that's how it started.
Nama dekat-dekat sangat.
Memanglah. Teraju and Peneraju. And by the way, we still complement each other, and we still both report to the Ministry of Economy. But to answer your question, Mel, yes, initially when I first joined, there was some confusion, there was some cross-collaboration, whatever it is, right? People didn't understand our identity distinctly. But after a year at it, now people know what Raju does and what we do.
That's good. That's a sign of your hard work, right? The result of your hard work and your team.
That's the thing. Because like I said, I always do that. Just like when we were in Awani, right? The people behind the camera, the producers,
all the cameramen,
the wardrobe, the CEO and the editor-in-chief who actually negotiated for venues and stuff like that. We are a talent and we are working in the team. Just like how in Yayasan Peneraju, quite frankly, the team works double hard, triple hard compared to how
behind
I do.
the scenes, all
that, all the time.
What have you introduced specifically during this past 2 years?
Okay,
what are your marquee initiatives?
What is the YAM stamp on
the first thing, and I'm very proud to say this, even though it may sound trivial, the branding.
Okay.
And it's not
just
the
logo, right?
Okay, it's not just the logo. It's not just the logo. Rebranding is about the identity of the organization. It's about how the organization operates. It's how we live and breathe. It's about how funky we want to be known to in people's consciousness. That I did. The second thing that I did was executing Rafizi's vision of making things optimal. So we cut across so many layers of red tape, bureaucracy. That's the thing that I'm proud to say. It was Rafizi's idea, but I executed it. The third is, and this is collaboratively between Rafizi and myself, it was more of how do we scale up accessibility of education funding for more people to get money. That we did collaboratively, and we couldn't have done it without the help of the entire team and improving the governance structure of the entire organization. I'm very proud of these three things.
So, let's just assume Rafizi's never going to watch this. What's it like working with Rafizi?
Yeah, I was about to ask.
We're all so
he's
curious.
the best minister ever. You have no idea how great he is.
That's the assumption he's going to watch it.
Nah.
We're going to cut it as a clip, right?
Okay, so Rafizi is more enamored, to use your vocab, in how to build more talents in the technology space, in the professional space. Professional means business services space, in accounting and the like. He is very, very inspired to get more people to be trained in these two fields. And it's hard working for him, I can be honest. It's hard because every time I deliver what he wants, there's more. But this is what I signed up for. Every time I go to an organization, I want my boss to be a little bit smarter than me, a little bit more aggressive than me, a little bit more inspirational than me, because I want to grow, right? So, and not many people know this. You were the head of morning run team at BFM. I look up to you because you have journalistic integrity.
Nanti bagi duit raya.
What people don't know is that Mel has this Bible, so to speak, of all her interviews, and she keeps it from day one. And I know, I just saw your thing there, and
it's in the cloud.
It's in the cloud. Yeah, that's something
20 years worth of interviews in there.
It is.
Interview prep.
And even if you don't do anything about it, even if you just press print and make it into a manuscript, that alone is yourself, your identity of who you are.
But it's collective knowledge, I think.
It is. So and then when I was in the banking scene, Zafrul was there, Datuk Sri Najib Razak was there. I grew. And every time I sign up for a job, I want to make sure that the boss has high integrity. Rafizi is everything there.
Okay, did Rafizi give you Cuti Raya this year?
Yes, he did.
He did. Okay,
because
good.
Contrary to popular belief, he takes long leaves. He does.
Really?
Oh, he needs to take breaks.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that's good.
But
I like
it's
that.
reasonable. And it's Hari
work
Raya.
hard and then play hard. Like
and also
rest hard.
actually you have to rest.
Yes,
You're only
you do.
being more responsible so that you can perform better.
But it's not just about him. It's not just a personality-driven kind of organization. Kementerian Ekonomi is blessed with people that are perfectly intelligent in terms of building policies and executing it as well. It's not easy to get both. People who write policies are not normally known to be executors, and vice versa. But with Kementerian Ekonomi and the folks that I work with there, it's fantastic.
Do they get a bad rap
They don't.
compared to other ministries?
They don't
think
get a
so?
bad rap because
I mean, they got moved around.
They've got
right?
to make really hard
Okay.
decisions, right? Like
Yes.
they're
No, they
very
do.
difficult decisions.
Round 95 is one of them.
Yeah.
Johor, Singapore, Special Economic Zone is another. KL20, IPR, Initiative Pendapatan Rakyat. These are some of the hallmarks that Kementerian Ekonomi has been doing. But this is just for this term. Under previous administration, they have had
Others.
a lot, right? But the biggest thing on their plate has always been the Malaysia Plan, the 5-year truncated.
Rancangan Malaysia ke-13.
So ke-13 is coming up soon.
Coming up, yeah.
That is always a big thing that they have to navigate. And the issue here is they do get moved around. Sometimes inside the PM's department, other times in their own ministry. The previous incarnation was the Ministry of Economic Affairs.
Under the Prime Minister's department. Is it?
No,
No,
before
it's
that it
just
was- yeah.
economic affairs. That's right. Yeah.
And now Kementerian Ekonomi, and but the function still remains. They don't get a bad rap, but not necessarily. So if Yayasan Peneraju and Teraju gets confused sometimes, people are confused in terms of Ministry of Economy with
And
Ministry of
Finance.
Finance.
Yeah.
The
well,
role
I
gets-
think of it as Ministry of Finance is the accountant, right? It's
Yeah.
managing the money.
Yeah.
Or finding where we can cut
Yeah.
find money.
Economy,
And
how
the
do we
Ministry
spend
of
it?
Economy is how do we spend it
Long-
best
long
so that
vision.
the kitty grows
Yeah.
in the future. Is that correct?
That's correct. If you would liken it to a corporate structure, the Ministry of Finance is corporate strategy, or the Chief Strategy Officer, and the CFO would be the MOF. That's how we would like to liken it.
Another thing I wonder about, being a CEO of a GLC, right?
Oh my God.
Agency.
Agency. How's your Raya festive season is like? Because media, we always have all these,
Events to
during events,
go to.
But what is it like?
Okay,
Do you have a lot?
I do have a lot, but no different from how it was when it was in the
Okay.
media. Every night there is an iftar with the stakeholder. Initially I started from Ramadan 1, first Ramadan
All
until
the way
the
the end.
30th Ramadan. There will be iftar.
Wow.
And you guys know me, I love my kids, I spend a lot of time with the kids.
Yeah.
I had to sacrifice that with the kids. But I was thinking, I'm here just for a short time, and while I'm here, there's a lot of opportunities that needs to be built. I had to make that decision. It was a trade-off.
You're also setting an example for your kids
Yeah.
about work ethic
Yeah.
and nation building and
Well, I
contribution,
hope
right?
I'm doing.
Well, they're
what I
watching
can.
their dad work
Yeah.
hard. So what is the Raya like with kids this year?
It's fun.
What's the idea for? How do you spend Raya normally?
Okay,
Yeah.
so we co-parent. My ex-wife and I. She has the kids for 2 weeks. I have the kids for 2 weeks. But she gets the kids during Christmas and Chinese New Year. She's half Chinese. I get the kids during New Year's and Raya. That's like a hard stop, no matter
Okay,
what, right?
okay.
But so Raya has always been interesting with the kids because they are always interested to see their cousins
Okay.
and spend time with their aunties, and they get a lot of duit Raya, a lot.
Where does that Duit Raya go, Mr. Accountant?
Oh yeah, latest
Go
iPhone.
to
Alia
a
just
fund.
got new iPad. Alia just got new iPad. Oma just got the new iPhone 16e.
Oh, you let them spend it?
Yeah, of course.
What is Duit Raya should go
No,
into the college
Spending
fund?
helps the economy, my friend.
Yeah, there, spoken like a true.
Ministry of Economy Agency.
But savings is another, right? Duit Raya is meant to spend.
Oh.
I mean, that's the thinking that I have. But the
It's a
monthly
gift,
allowance,
right? It's a gift to
it's a
them.
gift.
I've never gotten the chance to spend any of my Duit Raya. It all goes straight to the
Really?
bank.
Oh.
and
There
it's
is this marshmallow test. You know this, right?
Yeah,
They,
yeah,
you know the
one
test?
marshmallow.
The instant gratification?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. But that is for the monthly allowance that they get every month.
Okay.
So my eldest, Hannah, she still gets monthly allowance even though she's 18 and attending university. But she works at Decathlon as a retail assistant.
Okay.
Okay.
So she's
That's
got a job, a part-time job.
Yeah. So she's working, she's studying, she
What
gets
a responsible
now-
adult she is become.
and she's a chauffeur to her siblings. So she sends and picks them up from school. That's how she earns her keep. So it's actually a wage. It's not
Excellent. Yeah.
And so she keeps some. So she already has an EPF. She has ASB.
Wow.
Yeah.
And she's 18?
And she's 18.
Amazing.
If you have apparently now, you can open it at 14.
Yeah. And she's also investing through robo-advisor, one of the companies. Yeah.
Wow, look at you giving
Maybe you should book
financial
that and-
advice to your
Yes.
kids.
So there is that element of savings, long-term investment.
So
short-term.
duit raya is bonus kira.
Duit raya bonus.
Bonus.
Spend.
Okay.
Enjoy.
What do you want?
Enjoy yourself.
Oh, I bet
I'm
your
not.
kids watching out there tonight will be telling
yeah.
will be nudging their parents like,
Yeah.
look at what Yem's kids get to do.
I would if I could go to
No, but yeah, I mean, of course, however the parents feel that their money should be spent on their children
Yeah.
is the way it should be.
This
But
is
for
just
me,
your-
this is
your
my-
family.
This is,
Yes.
Another thing I'm curious about, like Raya Day 1, right? I have like different traditions where Raya Day 1 tak boleh keluar. You know, we stay at
Oh,
home,
I
we
see.
wait for people to come.
Oh,
I'm
yeah?
wondering about your Raya.
No,
tradition.
we don't host.
Oh, you don't
You don't
host?
host. So you go and
so
visit.
We are
to
the nomadic one. We are the one like, hello, seekor, and then balik rumah penat and then we sleep.
I think that's a smart strategy. That's
I
really
don't know.
smart. Okay.
I have an open house like week 3 of Raya, but during the first 2 days, 3 days Raya, no.
We expect an invitation to that open house, by the
Yes,
way.
yes.
I hope so. Now it's on national
It's
TV.
out there in the open.
It's all there. Right. So I wanted to ask you, Yim, with your kids, do you tell them or teach them Malaysian folklore?
Yes,
Do they know what folklore? Are you familiar with Malaysian folklore?
I am.
Are you?
Despite my
Which one?
background of
Not Cinderella, is it?
no, but
Sleeping Beauty.
but I'm a Minangkabau. My father is a Minangkabau. And we teach our children the folklore of Minangkabau. In fact, how Minangkabau name came about is interesting. It's actually Menang Kerbau. It's a war between the
I didn't
Sunda
know that.
people and the Minang people.
Is that folklore?
Yeah.
Oh.
So,
That's why the atak looks like.
the atak looks
the
like that.
horns,
Yeah.
the horns.
So the Sunda people, it was like a face-off, war versus war, and then the two leaders said instead of spilling blood, human blood, we just put up an animal and we fight. We let the animal fight. Whichever animal wins that fight, takes
So
the day.
you tell your kids about Malaysian folklore as
Yeah.
much as, say, they watch Disney or other.
Yeah.
The reason I'm asking is because there is a collective of artists here in KL who have come up with retellings of Malaysian folklore through
And for kids.
through songs.
Oh, I don't know about this.
Yeah, for kids, and they put a kind of twist, a contemporary twist,
Yeah.
but they use traditional elements. So like traditional instruments to retell Malaysian folklore
know
with a
more
fresh,
about this.
with a
Yeah.
fresh pair of eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're called Dondang Dongeng, and in fact, they not only premiered to great success. Does it consider recent? August 2023.
A couple years ago.
And they've also swept 5 awards at the 19th Both Cameroonian Arts Award, including the
Awesome.
prestigious Best of 2023.
Awesome.
So, in fact, we're going to go and hang out and speak to them.
Yes.
Thanks so much, Yim, for
Thanks,
spending
Yim.
Thanks for having
your
me.
It was good to
Syawal
have you.
one.
This is awesome, and I miss this. I
Yeah.
really do, man.
I miss it
Especially
too.
this.
It's
Yeah.
good. We appreciate it. And of course, that's all from me, Hafiz Marzukhi,
And I'm Melisa Idris.
We'll head over to their studio. So we are now here at RMP Productions in Damansara Perdana talking to our special guest for tonight.
Yeah, we've got with us the good folks from Dondang Dongeng. So today with us is Rozhan Razman, who is the technical director and sound engineer, and Irena Taib, who is a composer and music director for Dondang Dongeng. We're here to talk a little bit about the musical, and I want both of you, maybe we can start by telling us a little bit about the show. So how did it come together? What is it about? Tell us.
Well, the show, Kathy, our show director, and Melina, creative director, kind of had this idea already for a while, having children's show, and then there was an opportunity to apply for a grant to, make this come to life, and we have to thank My Creative for that, for giving us the opportunity. And then we wanted to, I personally, as a father, I wanted my children, not children,
Just
only
one.
one so far. Yeah, just one.
I
oh
think
my
that was
God.
a
single
It's
child.
a handful,
Single
one
child.
is a handful.
Freudian slip, you never know.
Anyway, I wanted, I wanted her to know the songs that I grew up with, because I sing to her, Burung Kakak to her Rasa Sayang and all that. But I do realize that among her peers, they don't know some of the songs, but these are the songs. But they don't also know the cerita dongeng, you know, batu belah, batu bertangkup, si tanggang.
Yeah. It's like I think children nowadays, they're so familiar with Disney movies and all that, you know, stories from
Cinderella,
the Western side. So it was a question from us, like, do we actually know our own folklore stories?
So with you being the music director, how do you blend it into, you know, the storytelling and folklore into music? How was the inspiration, and how do you know?
I think from the get-go, we knew that we wanted traditional element. We wanted to introduce that to kids, but we wanted to do it in a way that is not intimidating or scary, or like too in your face or too forceful, you know, because like maybe if you say traditional, then you have this idea of how it's gonna sound like, but we didn't want that. So we wanted to do something more relatable to the kids. So from that, we brought in traditional players because they are the masters of the instruments, right? So we had workshops with them. We work with them on how to arrange the song, how we can incorporate everything, so everyone exists in the same place because we exist in the same place.
And it had to be bite-sized too. Like, for children, you know, the show couldn't be too long because you know kids, you know, attention
What's the
span.
average? What's the average length for the show?
About just over an hour.
Yeah.
Just a
So
little
you've
over an hour.
had several. So it first started in 2023, was that right?
Correct.
And then you had another staging in
Last February.
Last February. So how was the reception last February? And what was different for this year's and compared to the previous years? Did anything change, or was it
The reception
largely the same?
The reception, we had more shows this time around.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we had
right,
5 shows this time. That's a lot of shows. But yeah, people were
People were surprised actually. They didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, children's show.
Yeah, it's a
but then the
music
adults,
show.
the parents are having fun, and they are like, oh, this song, you know, si tanggang, or you know, or sang kancil.
So it's nostalgic
It's
for the
nostalgic for them,
parents.
and then the kids, you know, because of the musical arrangement and the presentation was very appealing to me, to me who's also a kid. You know, you know, so I think, if I do say so myself or ourselves, I think it was well received.
Yeah.
But this time, the second run, we added kids.
Yeah, so we had 4 kids.
As part of the show.
Yeah, Laila, Luna, Alman, and Ishmael.
And what did they do?
They acted a bit, and Alman and Ishmael played. Alman played guitar, and Ishmael played the compa.
Oh, you've got kid talents
Yeah.
now.
I mean,
That's dancing
Dancing
also.
as well.
talent pipeline. You
Yeah,
have a talent pipeline.
Because the intention is always for the kids, so bringing them in was like,
Oh, fine.
yeah.
How do you see like the music connecting to the whole overall picture of heritage and also, you know, the society at large?
How does it connect, you mean?
Yeah. How does your music helps connect to the stories that you're telling people?
Yeah, because your music is it's very catchy. It's very
Yeah.
upbeat.
I mean,
it's almost
it's
pop-like.
Yeah, it nothing to do. I mean,
It's not very
it's not very
traditional.
folklore,
Yes,
yeah.
when you think of like traditional, you think of like gamelan
Right.
and
Yeah.
all the kind of old ballads and songs.
I mean, I guess the first thing was the story.
Yeah,
right?
and then it goes back also to the intention of we want the kids nowadays to relate to it. So I have a niece and you have a daughter, so it's always going back to them. What would they like? You know.
We were just talking about how we grew up with all these folklores, right? But would the younger generation know? So I love the story of Batu Belah Batu Tangkup, but it is a very sad story. But it put the fear of my mum's word in me. So like, don't go against your mum's words.
Yeah.
it's always used for that purpose.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
of course.
exactly. It's a great tool.
Yeah.
But I wonder whether younger children or younger generation are familiar with like Si Tanggang and Sang Kancil. Do you remember we had the cartoons when we were growing up? The Sang Kancil cartoons?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they are familiar with it. No, that's why
are
part of
doing
the
this.
reason why we do this, to kind of bridge the gap and hand it over to
Was
them.
it okay that if they weren't familiar with the stories, were they coming at it from like were they curious about these stories? Were they, felt like a bit intimidated. Some of them are quite scary and like
Yeah.
lessons to be learned. There's a moral,
Yeah.
right, at the
Yeah,
end
yeah.
of a story.
I guess the way we craft it, we had a storyteller.
Okay.
So
Okay.
he before the song, he would tell the story, and then we will find a way to tell the moral of the story without it being like you're gonna get eaten by a rock or something.
For example, when they froze, kena sumpah kan.
Tanggang, yeah.
So
Tanggang.
instead of it being scary, the narrator goes, "Oh, what should we do? Should we ask the crowd? Oh, should we this, should we that?" And everybody answer everything, and then Laila goes, "No, we should tickle them."
them,
And
yeah.
we tickle, so it became a light.
Oh, okay.
thing,
Oh,
So I
it's
think
very-
that's genius on the
Yeah.
the writing
It's
part.
age appropriate.
Yeah.
So who works behind the the ideation of making it interactive, making it
We had a writer, Alia, involved, and then if he's the storyteller, so Alia wrote the script, and after that, me, Melina, if he's kind of took it, so it's it's
Tweaking,
relatable to the kids.
Fantastic. So the 2023 version that you said, so the storyline is largely the same, except for the introduction of new child talent.
Yes.
Did anything else? Was that an opportunity to tweak? Because since you put the show on, you've gone on to win awards and get
Yeah.
recognition, and I think word of mouth spread about your show. Did you feel like it was an opportunity to change things up, or was there like, okay, we're going to stay true to the stories that we've decided to tell, to the music that we've created?
I think first of all, we are all of us, from the creative director to the show director, we are all artists in our own right, and an artist never really rests, I guess, in a way. So
It's always churning.
There's always
Yeah.
something to improve.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
can we do? Can we do
Yeah.
bigger? And it also depends on the venue. Sometimes because of the size, it's like this. Oh, we gotta change the stage layout. So what can we do? Oh, what about this? What about that?
Yeah.
So
So it will cater to what is happening. during
So
that.
what kind of stories that you usually feature for now? I mean, is it mostly concentrated from just one culture, or you're trying to weave intercultural folk tales into your?
I think Melina went over
that's-
300.
we had a book of like
Do we have 300 folk tales?
we have a lot of stories.
We have a lot of.
Yeah,
We have. I don't think I know 300
Yeah,
folk
yeah.
tales. Do
I
you?
think
I was-
at most is 15 also.
Yeah, I mean the famous ones
Yeah,
get
the famous-
told over and over
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
Thanks to
Actually, how did we learn about our folk tales? Was
Yeah.
it just
Through
through
past
oral
yeah.
history? So our mums and dads.
grandparents,
Okay.
and then maybe
On-
some
on TV.
Batu Berangkap. There was a movie.
It's movie.
An old
yeah.
film,
Film.
like a black and white film.
Yes,
was it
yes,
Pedagdi?
yes.
I can't
I'm
remember.
not sure. Yeah, but it was Sitanggang
As
the
well.
movie, yeah.
Okay.
Bawang Putih,
Because
Bawang Merah.
without that, the history doesn't get passed on, right? We don't kind of.
No archive.
There's
of
no
it.
art exactly. We grew up with the film negara punya Sang Kancil
Yeah, correct.
clips on
Yeah.
TV. All of
That's
that
right, yeah.
made us remember these stories and these songs, but it's time to breathe new life
Yeah.
into it.
I think that's the word for it, breathe new life. Because if it's just done the same way, I feel it's not relevant to kids today.
Yeah. And speaking of Sang Kancil, I understand there's an element of breathing new life into Sang Kancil that you guys brought into it.
Yeah, I did a pop punk song for Sang Kancil. It's called Dear Dear.
Dear, as in what?
Dear,
as
like
in dear,
dear.
D-E-A?
Dear.
Dear.
Wordplay.
We love puns, don't
I
we?
love that. Dear. So
Yeah.
you composed the song. Do you
Yeah.
want to tell us a little bit about what the song's about?
So it's about Sang Kancil has a lot of stories.
Yes.
Yeah, he has a story about naming Melaka, about the buaya,
Yeah.
about
Something
the
about the buffalo
tiger,
as well.
yeah, buffalo, yeah.
So some monyet that ate the chili.
Yeah, there's so many. There's so many. So yeah, so Dear Dear is a pop punk song, and it's 4 stories in it. Yeah, and
Oh, so you
then
incorporate 4 stories
yeah,
into it.
yeah. What else?
You want to talk about the
And-
chords of the song? It's
Was that
very
was
catchy,
it an instant?
extremely catchy.
It is extremely catchy.
Thank
But
you.
was it kind of an instantaneous like you composed it overnight, or did it come to you as
actually,
inspiration?
My process was I told my niece Laila the story first and see if she could catch
you used
what
it
I
as
was.
a test case.
Yeah, my muse.
Your muse.
It's quite an ingenious way of testing your
Yeah,
story.
and that's why I told her the story and I played her the song and see if she caught like anything.
Do you immediately get it? I mean, like because the song is pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, do you immediately get is it a process that takes
Well, we're
some
asking
time?
from two very non-musical
I
inclined people.
can.
I think I wrote that in a day. I think.
My
Yeah, so
goodness.
that's where talent, right? Talent.
Okay, this song is super catchy and it's an earworm in its own right. So let's take a listen to this Dondang Dongeng original, Dear Dear.
Dear, dear, how are you so smart? No, that's how we tell you apart. Clever and witty, you're a work of art.
Remember the time when two full moons up before our eyes, underneath the starry sky. Poor farmer had to suffer through drought, but the other guy lied, didn't wanna pay up. Saya bayar utang lepas 2 bulan, tengok tu kan ada 1 je bulan. Reflection in the water, one of the sky. Imagination comes along with pretty skies. Who would have thought that? Who would have thought that? But the girl with the extraordinary mind.
Dear, dear, how are you so smart? No, that's how we tell you apart. Clever and witty, you're a work of art.
Our friend, the buffalo, escaped because of you. If Croc was a little bit grateful, his life would have worked out too. The audacity to bite buffalo, he was a friend, guess he's not anymore. That's not a nice thing, that's not a nice thing to do.
Thank God you're just around the corner, just in time before became dinner. How did it all go down? Hit rewind and play it back again. Dear, dear, how are you so smart? No, that's how we tell you apart. Clever and witty, you're a work of art.
Like the time when your schedules flew away, Beastie Boys didn't have a chance to stay. You were billionaires always, I must say. Crunch, 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 here goes from the cave.
Before we end this story, how beauty and brains named the city for sire. Dear skills were on full display. She pranced till she kicked his majesty's dog astray.
Ran away, she paid no
A brave
mind.
dear he thought at the time he said,
We shall name this city, this ground I met, and Malacca it shall be. Malacca.
Dear, dear, how are you so smart? No, that's how we tell you apart. Clever and witty, you're a work of art. Dear, dear, how are you so smart? No, that's how we tell you apart. Clever and witty, you're a work of art.
Terasa kesayuran tapi besar hutan. Terasa kesayuran tapi besar hutan.
Welcome back to Lebaran Awani. I'm Hafiz Marzukhi. With me is Melisa Idris, and I'm sure if you've stayed up throughout the break, you have heard the great song, which is Dear Dear.
Dear, dear, I'm not going to sing it, I'll spare you.
Yeah. You can listen to it again and again when it's available of sort. So we're back with the good folks of Dondang Dongeng with Rozhan and Irena. So I think coming back into the break, I think we would like to ask more about the most memorable performances that you have throughout, ever since starting from 2023 until now. Maybe either of you would like to share.
I think for me, because this time around I had my niece Laila with me. Like the first time I wrote the songs for her, so this time I had her on stage. So it was really special to me.
How old is she?
She's 8.
Okay, so she, how did she take to the stage?
Oh, she was a star.
She's a natural born star. So when you're performing on stage, Irena, are you able to see the audience and their reactions?
Yeah.
What is that like? I mean, I can imagine, you know, you're looking into a sea of kids. And they're responding to the music that you wrote. How does that feel? What did you see?
It's really special. Also, because like it feels like we have created this safe space for them to be at a show and just they can do like that and watch it. They can like hug their mom or whatever, but they're still there. They're present. So that's really meaningful.
Oh, that's really nice.
What about you, Rozhan? Maybe what is the most memorable performance?
Well,
me playing on stage.
Yeah, I mean, night after night. Do
you only remember when the things that go wrong and the fires to be put out?
I actually do. Actually, my daughter was on as well, Luna, and her favorite moment was when we had a hiccup with the prop and the map didn't come down. And until today, she still talks about it. It's like, remember it didn't come down? You know, so. Because, you know, day in, day out, this happens. And then when it doesn't happen, it's like, oh, that's something new. And also seeing my mom stand up and clapping along, singing. So that's
it's lovely when like friends and family are in the crowd, so it's a little bit more personal, a bit more meaningful, right? Yeah. Any plans to stage future shows, maybe outside of KL? I'm sure lots of people watching will be thinking, oh, when can I be part of this?
Yeah, I would like to stage it more because we have more stories to tell.
More stories? 300 folks?
Yeah, 300. And then if you could tour maybe to Singapore or anything and incorporate their stories.
Singapore's got folklore.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I did not mean that. They can always pinjam some of ours if they need to. I mean, I say that with love, ASEAN love.
Yeah, definitely. You know, if we get sponsors, you know, if there's anybody who'd like to, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
We like to take the show on the road. It's for the kids, guys. It's for the kids. Come on, it's not for us.
But
sorry.
Yeah, but just follow us on Instagram, Dondang Dongeng. So if you want to know more about us.
I did, and I kind of fell in love a little bit with your production,
But I'm also curious about the Sabah and Sarawakian elements into this, and I'm sure you've incorporated it. But how do you approach from that sense, you know, incorporating elements from, you know, East and West Malaysia?
Folklore because most of the folklore
mostly concentrated over here.
But we had one song, Putri Santubong.
Okay.
We took the song Putri Santubong. So that was.
Maybe you can share a bit about the process of, you know, incorporating folklores from.
I mean, to me, East West Malaysia is still Malaysia, so I don't know what is there to incorporate.
There's no,
But in terms of like, you know, researching for it, or you know, like what's the process like?
Well, we had our creative director is from that part of Malaysia.
So she made sure there was a perspective that was also included.
And I had to play the sape.
Oh, you did?
I learned the sape. It's nice. It's nice.
May I ask you about the musical instruments? So are the musicians? You know, there was an accordion, there was a flute.
Yep.
Are those traditional Malaysian instruments, or I clearly don't know much about music instruments. Can you tell us more?
Yeah, we for traditional we have accordion and gambus played by Hasnul.
Gambus is like the
gambus is the guitar.
Sorry, I thought that was the drum. That's
okay. That's okay. That's the rebana.
We are all learning here. We are all learning here.
Thank you.
And we have the flute played by one, and then sape. And then we have the contemporary instrument drum.
Kompang.
Oh, kompang. We have the kompang.
All right. And you learned to play the sapir for
for the show.
Just for the show.
Yeah.
You guys are musical talent. But just before we wrap things up, maybe you can share a bit of your because we're in the season, right?
Yes,
Festive
Selamat
season.
Raya, everyone.
So maybe you can share a bit of your, Raya memories and maybe, favorite Raya memories.
Are you a local KL boy, Rozhan?
Born and raised.
Born and raised.
What
So
about you, Irena?
I'm from Kuantan.
Kuantan.
Yeah.
So will you be balik kampunging anywhere?
Baliking kampung.
Baliking kampung. Okay. Please don't take English lessons from us.
Most of the time we stay in KL, but I do go back to Muar, which is my mom's hometown.
Okay.
But other than that, I enjoy being in KL. Looking forward to not working because actually the last 2 Rayas I think I had to work.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
For the production?
Oh no, for something else, but
Okay.
different production. But I think looking forward to this one. Maybe just hanging out in KL.
Yeah.
Okay. And what about you?
Yeah.
You're gonna have a chill Raya as
Yeah,
well?
I'll be back in Kuantan and just chilling with my family and not do any work as well.
That sounds like a
With your niece, I presume.
Yeah,
Makaning.
playing bunga api.
fantastic, fantastic.
What's your since we're on the subject of Raya, what's your favorite food? What do you usually do? What are the traditions that your family do during Raya?
It's like Raya as an adult. The same joy as Raya as a child? Or is it because you have to give duit Raya now, so it's less enjoyable?
That's fine, but I live through my daughter, I guess.
Oh.
Seeing her enjoy Raya now makes me feel like Of course, fireworks, I'll be there before any of them lah.
Okay. I see. Safety first.
Yeah, of course. Actually, I'm there to make sure everything is in order.
Sure. It's not because you're eager to light it or anything.
So before we wrap up the show, maybe you could tell us what you want the listeners to know about Dondang Dongeng.
What's your message?
Other than following Instagram, of course, maybe final words you can tell over your camera.
Do support us if you want to hear more stories. We are looking for potential collaborators.
We do really believe in the show. I think,
and all of us in the team.
It's a nice little family already, and the family is growing.
Yep.
by the year, by the month.
Hopefully we can take this show on the road. Get more support from and sponsors, and we really would love for more people to see it. More kids especially.
Yeah.
My personal thing is, I don't know if I should say it, but I
just say it anyway.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody ever discussed it yet, but maybe a game that features the songs. Just a simple game.
Or
because kids are hooked to the phone.
Yeah.
If you want to get to the kids, if you get just a simple
Sunken chill.
You never know, Netflix might be watching.
There could be a Netflix TV series.
Series. Think about that. You never know.
All the best to you, but the festivities is not over. They have another special song for us. I guess we just wait until the song plays. That's all from me. I'm Hafiz Marzukhi.
And I'm Melisa Idris. Selamat Hari Raya, folks.
Hai! Perjalanan jauh tak kurasa, karena hatiku melonjak sama, ingin berjumpa sanak saudara yang selalu bermain di mata. Menghijau gunung ladang dan rimba, langit nan tinggi bertambah birunya, deru angin turut sama berlagu, semuanya bagaikan turut gembira. Oh, 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 balik kampung. Oh, 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 balik kampung. Oh, 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 balik kampung. Hati girang. Oh, oh, balik kampung. Oh, 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 balik kampung. Oh, 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 balik kampung. Hati girang. satu tersemat di kalbu, pasti terubat rindu di hati, menyambut kepulanganku nanti. Ho 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 balik kampung, ho 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 balik kampung, ho 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 balik kampung, hati dirasa